Hey everyone, Loaded Buggy here, back with another Call of Duty commentary, and I've got some MW3 gameplay for you here. Don't really feel like I see too many commentators playing MW3, or at least not consistently, and this game was awesome. I'm back with another kind of off-the-cuff type of video, and excuse the flubs, we're just going to roll with it today. But it just seems like, my channel kind of started off on off-the-cuff stuff, so it makes sense that I just, hit record, have a pre-planned topic, maybe some bullet points, and just go at it, almost podcast style, if you will. So that's what we're going to do today. And the reason I'm making today's video is because I was just kind of scrolling a little bit on my YouTube and looking at my recommendeds and everything like that, watching some videos, and I'm seeing more and more Call of Duty commentators come up, which is awesome. It's really awesome to see. I love seeing more Call of Duty commentators kind of pull up on my recommended, and it's cool to see the amount of views that these people are getting. Like thousands of views on Call of Duty commentaries in 2025, almost 2026. I think that's just absolutely bonkers, if you ask me. That it's kind of come back into style, if you will, within our niche genre, niche community, and I really love to see it, honestly. I truly do. But I've been noticing this theme, this pretty consistent theme, actually, amongst commentators new and old. And I'm not one to start nothing. I'm not here to criticize anyone or start some crap. But so I'm not going to name names, obviously. But I've kind of been noticing this level of pessimism and negativity among the Call of Duty commentary scene that it's kind of disheartening to me a little bit. Now, on one hand, I can totally understand where these people are coming from, because if you know a bit of my recent story, the last 6 months of my life or so have been quite filled with trials and tribulations, if you will. So I can understand firsthand how hard life can be when you're working a job or working multiple jobs and your pay doesn't really increase all that much, but everything around you price-wise just going up and up and up, and it's just absolutely draining just to find a way to make ends meet. And I can understand the pessimism. I can understand the negativity. Like I said, it's completely understandable, because the state of the economy within the U.S. and even in the world is just in a very disheartening state right now. It's just, the world is really, really tough. Everything's very expensive, and we're not making enough money. So I can understand where that negativity comes from on a financial side. And honestly, the financial aspect of life can just affect so many other different aspects. Whenever you have that comfortability or that cushion behind you financially, it tends to ease up a lot of other burdens. So not having that available to you to fall back on can affect a lot of different things. So like I said, I understand the pessimism, and part of me, I've been subject, or I have been one to be a little bit pessimistic and negative whenever it comes to the state of things as well. But I've also found that intentional positivity, intentional optimism, with a balance of realism, can really help put me in a position where I'm able to succeed on a daily basis. I look for a lot of little wins, or at least I try to. I mean, I'm certainly not perfect, but I've learned a lot from my wife in specific, actually, and she's just a hopeless optimist. When things are not going right, she just always finds some way to be positive about it, and it's really encouraging, and I think the Lord has blessed us with an amazing dynamic where, I'm the realist, if you will. I think realistically, I think logically, I think critically, and she is emotionally driven, extremely positive, and always finding ways to be encouraged or trying to find ways to stay positive. It's a good balance, and I think I've learned a lot from that kind of mindset on how we can balance the two. We know the kind of difficult positions that we've been put in ourselves, with kind of the hand that we've been dealt with life, and I'm always looking for the logical way out, the on paper, okay, what can we do financially to put us in a better situation to succeed, not just right now in the present, but in the long term as well. And she's thinking about, okay, well, what can we do right now in this very moment that would make things a little bit easier, or what are things that we're blessed with right now in this moment? What do we have right in front of us right now that is something that we can be thankful for? And it's just like that kind of mindset, that kind of balance between the two of us has made things so much more bearable. And yeah, like I said, it's kind of tough to see some of these other COD commentators out there who are making consistent pessimistic or negative videos where they've been beaten down, man. And I sympathize with them too. I empathize with them, because life is tough, man. Life is really, really tough. And whenever it hits you over and over again, like it has for myself, it's pretty hard to pick yourself back up that many times and dust yourself off and have a positive attitude. Not everyone can do that, and I certainly have struggled with that a lot personally. So I understand where a lot of these people are coming from whenever they are a bit negative with their situation or with the future, what the future looks like. But I think also trying to be intentional with that positivity, trying to be intentional with changing your outlook on life can make a big difference on how you think of things, how you think about your perspective, if you will. I don't know. I'll kind of give a little bit of a example personally. Whenever we had moved to the state that we're in currently, the great state of Pennsylvania, one thing that they do here that they don't do in the state that I lived previously in Arizona was they do vehicle inspections, vehicle safety inspections. Your vehicle has to pass an inspection every single year in order for it to be legal to drive. That wasn't the case in Arizona. All they cared about was emissions. If your vehicle passed emissions, then you were good to go. It didn't matter if it had both doors. It didn't matter if you had a windshield. They don't really care. They don't check it. As long as the emissions pass, you're good. That's not the case in Pennsylvania. And whenever we got here, I'm like, okay, I know I'm going to get things inspected. I know I'm going to have to pay for some stuff to get it up to the passable inspection level where we can drive on the road legally again after we change the title over from Arizona to Pennsylvania. I knew that was coming, but I didn't know the level of problems that we were going to have. And I had 2 vehicles, and we had to fix quite a few things or change quite a few things on our vehicles in order to get them up to the inspection level in order to pass. And one of the things was the tires. We drove on dry rotted tires, basically not popped, but they had cracks, some deep cracks on the inside of the tires underneath the car that we had to replace on both vehicles. And it was bonkers to me because it was something that I'd never even noticed, because how often am I getting under my car to go look at my tires? I mean, I go under my car to change my oil and stuff like that, but I'm not usually inspecting the tires, and it was just something that I never really thought about doing. And it happened on both vehicles where the cracks and stuff were only on the inside of the tire, which was the craziest thing. The outside of the tire was almost completely unnoticeable that there was any major wear, but they showed me at the shop that I was getting the inspection done, like, hey, this is what's going on with your tires. You're going to need all 4 tires on both of these vehicles in order to pass inspection. And if you have a vehicle or have had to replace tires on vehicles lately, you'll know how expensive that can be. Just for my little Volkswagen Jetta, it was like $220, about $200 a pop per tire, and my Chevy Suburban was a bit more. And it really hurt the pocketbook. It really hurt the wallet whenever I had to make those purchases, because that was like $2,000 just in tires alone, practically. And then I'll spare you more details, because I could talk about my current situation or what's happened in the last 6 months for who knows how long. But the point is if I had never had those inspections done, if I never had come here, I would never have actually thought to look that closely at my tires. And I'm thankful that it was caught, and I'm thankful that we replaced the tires, because if we hadn't, then we'd be driving in the winter with some pretty messed up tires, and that would have been such a hazard. It would have been an absolute nightmare if something popped while you were driving, going 50 miles an hour or 40 miles an hour on some icy roads or something like that. I just can't imagine something happening to our tires and that not being caught whenever we had done that inspection. So it's just kind of one of those things that in the moment, I was pretty pessimistic about it. I was pretty negative, like, oh, great, there goes $2,000 of our savings, but there was a lesson to be learned. There was something positive to gain from it, and it's really all I can be thankful for. I'm thankful for the new tires because they're keeping us safe on the road now, even though I had to pay that money. I'm thankful that it was done, because now my family's safe and whenever we're driving, and my conscience is clear. So anyway, that's kind of what I've been thinking about lately, with the slew of Call of Duty commentaries coming through, with kind of having a pessimistic outlook, and just maybe challenging some other people to flip that negative outlook to the best of your ability. And God, I know it's to the best of our abilities. This is really all we can do, because things are really tough right now. I really, really get it. But I would still challenge to try your best to find the positive even amidst the negative, because if you don't, it makes life that much harder. So That's it for today, guys. Thanks for watching my video. If you enjoyed and are not already subscribed, click the subscribe button. If you like this video in particular, click the like button, and I would love to hear from you, so leave a comment down below. Bye now.